Hey, good morning, friends, and happy Independence Day to all of you. It's 15th August. I'm just back from very good programs at MGM Medical College and at our local IMA branch, where number of doctors presented very inspiring songs. Let's have a look at snips of few of them, and then we'll go on to podcasts. So friends, hope you enjoyed glimpses of patriotic songs that were presented at our local IMA branch and at MGM Aurangabad. And this time the podcast is on non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Hope you remember the brief podcast that I presented last week on Hodgkin's lymphoma. This time I thought it's quite natural to start with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. But if you look at non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, it's a maze. There are huge number of entities which are not that easy to remember and interpret. So I call this podcast Maze Runner in non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And actually there was one case sometime back in which I had a tonsillar mass that came to me for histological examination. It contained medium-sized undifferentiated cells in sheets. Though there were few reactive follicles, it was definitely looking like lymphoma. So an immunohistochemical workup was advised, and truly enough the diagnosis came back as T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma. So I thought it's a good point to start our discussion on non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So if you look at classification, as we discussed initially, there are huge number of entities. So there is B cell, there is T cell. In B cell we have lymphoblastic lymphoma, small lymphocytic lymphoma, or chronic lymphocytic leukemia. We have lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma. We have follicular lymphoma. We have marginal zone lymphoma. We have diffuse large cell lymphoma. We have mantle cell lymphoma. We have Burkitt's lymphoma and primary effusion lymphoma. And in T cell category, we have lymphoblastic leukemia. Lymphoma, which usually turns into leukemia later on. Then we have nodal angioblastic lymphoma, peripheral T cell lymphoma not otherwise specified, anaplastic large cell lymphoma, and we have extranodal lymphomas, which includes mycosis fungoides, anaplastic large cell lymphoma, cutaneous lymphoma, then natural killer or T cell nasal and nasal type lymphomas, enteropathy associated lymphomas, hepatosplenic lymphomas, and subcutaneous paniculitis like lymphomas. And when we look at this classification, our head starts spinning like this. And if we try to swallow all this lymphoma classification in one go, we risk getting it stuck in our throat, like that shown in this cartoon of Tom and Jerry. Now that we have seen what can happen if we try to swallow everything once and for all, it's going to get stuck. So let's decide what to read first. Let's decide whether it's the B cell category or the T cell category. So let's start with T cell because the case was related to a T cell lymphoma. So what is pre-T lymphoblastic leukemia lymphoma? It's a disease of children and adolescents. We have male preponderance. It usually presents with supradiaphragmatic polylymphadenopathy. Mediastinal mass is common in 50 to 75% of the cases. Bone marrow involvement is early. Usually these patients go on to develop acute lymphoblastic leukemia and clinical course is very aggressive. Survival is short. Usually there is relapse in central nervous system or gonads, which are also called sanctuary sites. We have diffuse pattern of involvement, and involvement is in the form of monomorphic population of lymphoblast having convoluted or non-convoluted nuclei. Chromatin is dusty and nucleoli are inconspicuous. Mitotic index is high. Immunophenotype is that of immature T cell with pan T cell antigens, cytoplasmic D3, TDT positive, CD1A can be positive or negative, CD34 can also be positive or negative. In this disease, that is pre-T lymphoblastic leukemia lymphoma, we have monoclonal T cell receptor gene rearrangements. 4 molecular types are detected by gene expression profiling. So second non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The second non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that we are going to discuss today is that of nodal marginal zone lymphoma. This is a disease of elderly. Patients are elderly and most of them are ladies. We have female preponderance, but course is indolent and survival is long. There is involvement of peripheral lymph nodes only. Extranodal or splenic involvement excludes the diagnosis. What we get here is infiltration of sinuses, marginal zone, parafollicular areas or effacement of lymph node. There is something called follicular colonization, and the cells doing that are heterogeneous mixture of cells including monocytoid B cells, centrocyte-like cells, small lymphocytes, plasmacytoid lymphocytes and plasma cells. So all kinds of cells are there. There is monocytoid B cells, there are centrocyte-like cells, there are small lymphocytes, there are lymphocytes which look like plasma cells, the plasmacytoid cells, and even plasma cells also. So heterogeneous population. In follicular colonization, in infiltration of sinuses, marginal zone and parafollicular areas, and there is effacement of lymph node architecture. Large cells, centroblast and immunoblast are always present, and these cells, these monotypic B cells express immunoglobulin M and pan B cell markers. CD10 is absent, CD5 and 25 are usually absent. So the third entity that we are discussing today is follicular lymphoma. It has high incidence in Western industrialized countries. Patients are usually elderly. Cases are rare before the age of 20. Sex distribution is equal. We saw that in the previous lymphoma, that is nodal marginal zone lymphoma, the preponderance was more in female, while in follicular lymphomas there is no such differentiation or discrimination. Sex distribution is equal. Common thing is patients are again elderly and cases are rare before the age of 20. This follicular lymphoma again has an indolent course and long survival like the previous one. Lymph node architecture is obliterated and we have round numerous nodules in close proximity. There is cracking artifact around nodules. Lymph node involvement can be whole or partial. Perinodal fat involvement can also be there. Interesting thing is, in this entity of follicular lymphoma, perinodular lymphocytic mantles are diminished or absent. Tingible body macrophages are absent. Nodular cell population is monomorphic and closely packed. Nuclei are cleaved, small, intermediate or large. So these are some of the features that can help us differentiate follicular lymphoma from follicular hyperplasia. In follicular lymphoma, cells with similar cleaved nuclei are seen in internodular areas also, and pan B cell markers are positive. B cells are monoclonal with surface kappa or lambda light chain. CD10 is positive, CD5 is negative, and CD43 is also negative, and of course BCL2 and 6 both are positive. There is translocation of 14-18 which is associated with BCL2 deregulation, and that is the thing that leads to follicular lymphoma. Now coming to mantle cell lymphoma, we are discussing in brief. I hope this stimulates residents to read more about these entities. In mantle cell lymphoma, patients are elderly, there is male preponderance, there is generalized lymphadenopathy, but lymph nodes are usually not bulky, but there is early dissemination with bone marrow, spleen and peripheral blood involvement. Histologic patterns that are seen in mantle cell lymphoma are three. One is the mantle zone pattern, second is the nodular pattern, and third is diffuse pattern. Cytology is typical with monomorphic cell population without centroblast. We have low to moderate mitotic and proliferation rates. Mantle cell lymphoma has a blastoid variant, that is classic and pleomorphic subtypes. There is moderate to high mitotic proliferation rates. There is translocation between 11-14, Q13 and Q32. Cyclin D1 overexpression is there. There is nuclear pattern of the overexpression. Surface immunoglobulins are positive, CD5 is positive, CD10 is negative, CD19 is positive, CD20 is positive, CD23 is negative, BCL6 negative, and CD43 positive. So this is the immunohistochemical profile of mantle cell lymphoma. This is again an disease of old age, but compared to previous two, that is follicular lymphoma and nodal marginal zone lymphoma, it has poor prognosis because it has short duration of response to chemotherapy. So friends, in this podcast we discussed 4 lymphomas: the T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma, nodal marginal zone lymphoma, follicular lymphoma and mantle cell lymphoma. These are easily forgettable entities, so we need to brush up these things again and again. Hope you like this brief podcast, and hopefully I will continue rest of the lymphomas in the future podcast. It is becoming tougher for me to keep up this weekly schedule of podcast, so I am thinking of reducing the frequency to once a month. Let's see how it goes. So thank you again for watching this video, and see you again next week. If not next week, definitely next month.